It's almost a trope at this point. Someone on a diet forced to battle their cravings for tasty and addicting food, like a gladiator in a coliseum fighting for their lives, forced to battle their desire for their favorite comfort food, while choking down boiled chicken and broccoli and forced to drink flavorless kale smoothies. What if there was a different way? What if you could still have all of your favorite dishes and foods while not breaking your diet? This is the answer that we're searching for today, and we're looking for it on Instagram. All right, so let me paint you a picture here. It's Sunday, because it is actually Sunday. Not only when you're watching this or when this video is released, but also today is Sunday. But you're getting ready to watch the big game or settle in and have your favorite TV show marathon, and you want something tasty to eat, but you've worked so hard throughout the week and you don't want to completely engorge yourself on thousands of calories on your Sunday relaxation, but you really want pizza. But there's plenty of recipes on Instagram to make pizza a little more fitness friendly.
Would you believe me if I told you this pizza has 176 grams of protein?
Damn.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but it does. And it's not made with flour, cauliflower, cottage cheese, or any of the usual suspects. We're ditching the carbs and leveling up with chicken crust pizza. A high protein, crispy, and ridiculously delicious alternative that actually holds together. It's made with ground chicken, eggs, Parmesan cheese, and seasonings. This is a recipe you don't want to miss.
That looks amazing.
Would you believe me if I...
Wow, that looks delicious, and that's exactly what we're gonna make. But make sure if you're on Instagram, you go over and follow Basics with Bales, and you kind of check out Instagram for some of these recipes, because you would be surprised at how many of these recipes there are from creators on Instagram and even TikTok trying to make a healthier alternative to fan favorites. So let's dive right into this. Of course, we have our ground chicken ready to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and open this package up. We're gonna dump this in here. I will say that I have made this before, but when I made it last time, it was only with one egg. So we're gonna go ahead, I just decimated my light. Last time I made this, I made it with one egg instead of two, but Basics with Bales is telling me that I need to do 2 eggs, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow her instructions, see exactly what this does to the crust. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put your chicken in, and then you're going to want to add your eggs into the mix. And then she also said to add Parmesan cheese. I have this Parmesan cheese here that I'm going to add some in, and for those of you that watched the last video, you'll remember I said I'm lactose intolerant, but I actually had some friends look it up, and they actually told me, they said, you know what, Parmesan cheese doesn't really have much lactose in it, and it's actually quite, hold on, holy shit, these gloves are small. I ripped it. It actually doesn't have any effect, that much of an effect on people that are lactose intolerant, unless you are severely lactose intolerant, which I don't believe that I am. I believe I'm just moderately to mildly lactose intolerant. So I'm gonna get these gloves on and try and mix this up a little bit before I add in a little bit of seasoning. Get all of these ingredients. God! It'll work. The key is to get all that egg mixed in and that Parmesan cheese mixed in with that chicken and egg. And that's gonna create almost like a batter-like consistency, kneading it together and turning it into almost like a paste, so that you can spread it out nice and thin and make a pizza crust. So, and that's ultimately the goal. Kind of crazy to think, I mean, you have a whole package, I mean, a serving of ground chicken has what, like 20 to 22 grams of protein? With this, you got the whole package, which has 4 servings in it. So just right from Jump Street, 88, almost 90 grams of protein just in the pizza crust alone. So, I mean, I guess if you're gonna binge and eat the whole pizza, you're gonna find yourself consuming quite a bit of protein in this pizza, but ultimately it's not gonna be nearly as many calories as if you consume a whole pan pizza. So now that we got that mixed in, it's time to add in some of these seasonings. So let me just take these gloves, if you can even call them that, off. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with some Italian seasoning. Because, you know, what is a pizza if not Italian? So put in some of that Italian seasoning. Get it all nice and mixed up, and I'm also gonna add some garlic powder into this. Give it that garlicky crust taste. We're also going to put in probably a little bit of salt and pepper, because you always gotta have a little bit of salt and pepper to taste for flavor. And now I'm gonna get the gloves again. We're gonna mix this in. See if I can do this any better than before. I did it! I got it! Okay. So now we're just gonna mix in again, mix in the seasoning in with the crust here. And that's gonna create a nicely seasoned base. I don't know if this is gonna have 176 grams of protein, but I can tell you it's probably gonna have a lot. For sure, nearly 100 grams of protein alone, because with the 2 eggs mixed in, that's another probably 10 to 12 grams of protein already right there. And since we're already near 90, that's near 100 grams of protein already. So, man, that smells good. I can already smell the garlic from that. All right. So the next thing we need to do, we need to go ahead and get a little bit of cooking spray on the pan here, because we don't want it to stick. Just a good coating to make sure we don't have any sticking going on. We're gonna go ahead and put our chicken out on this. I like how I use the gloves to mix it, and now I'm just pulling it out with my fingers. I was hygienic and cleanly, but you know, sometimes you gotta get dirty. Oh, I should be preheating the oven, right?
Do you believe me if I told you this pizza has 176 grams of protein?
400.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some parchment paper. We're gonna put it down and we're gonna smush this really thin, because that's the goal, right? You want it to get crispy, so you're gonna have to make sure it's nice and thin. Make sure it's not too thin. You're gonna try and get it as even as you physically can to make a good pizza crust. And then you just peel this off. Wow, that's not centered, but that's okay. We've got ourselves a nice, thin pizza crust here. We're gonna go ahead and smooth out some of those areas. And again, get my hands all dirty. And there we go. We have ourselves our pizza crust ready to go in the oven. It's gonna go in there for 25 minutes to get that pre-cooked and start getting it crispy, and we won't add the toppings until after that. So let's go ahead and put it in the oven. Okay, so the question is why? why would you want to take something that is already good and try and make it healthier? Why not just eat the pizza? And that is a really good question. There's a lot of people out there who would say just eat the pizza. But there's a lot of people out there who also have very strong cravings for things that when they get in the mood to eat something like pizza or ice cream or chicken tenders or anything of the sorts, that they're gonna wanna just dive right in right now and eat it. And some people get those cravings more frequently than others. So this is a good opportunity to take something that you love and something that you might have a craving for and make something that tastes either almost as good or just as good as what you're craving, and give yourself that fix without actually going or deviating from your goals. And that's something that I really enjoy and really love, because prior to finding some of these recipes, the last time I had pizza was in May of 2023, and it is now August of 2025. So that's a long time without any pizza whatsoever. So I will say that it is a good tool to have in your repertoire to have some of these recipes on hand, so that if you get a craving for something and it's not really going to fit within your macros or within your goals, that then you can make one of these recipes, have that satisfy or satiate that craving, and also stay on track with your fitness goals or your fitness journey. So there's a lot to be said with having these healthier options for these recipes, and I really enjoy the creativity of making some of them. So shout out to all you Instagram content creators out there who are very creative in coming up with some of these cool, healthy recipes. All right, the first thing we want to do after we pull this out is we want to set the oven up to 450 degrees, because when it goes back in, it's going to be 450 degrees. So that's what's going to cook the toppings on and everything. So, but I am going to cut this pizza in half, and there's a reason for that before I even put the toppings on, and that is because lactose intolerant, yes. I have plant-based mozzarella cheese. It is what it is. And then I have some other mozzarella cheese that I'm going to put on the other half for Miranda, because she's going to be going to work here before too long, and I think she would love some chicken crust pizza before she goes to work. So I'm going to put her cheese on. That's all going to be good. The good thing about this recipe is you can actually split it in half. Share it with whoever you want to, because when you split it in half, it's only about 500 calories to eat half the pizza, and you get 50 plus grams of protein in it. So it's a good meal, high in protein, and if you eat the whole thing yourself, sure, it's 1,000 calories, but you're also over 100 grams of protein at that point. So unless you're gorging on protein at the end of the day to try and meet your protein goals, you're gonna have a lot of protein to eat this whole thing yourself. So I'm gonna scoot these apart a little bit. $450. Let that get up to where it needs to get. All right, so just like with any good pizza, the first thing we want to do is we want to put on a little bit of sauce here. Got about a half a cup of sauce, which is what I'm going to put on each side. Quarter cup. I'll do a quarter cup in two different spots. So I'll do a quarter cup of sauce there. Actually, that should be about all you need for the whole thing. About a quarter cup there. Then we smooth it out. So there we go, we got our sauce on. Then goes on the cheese, right? This cheese on here, and you'll notice when I pull this out, I'll know exactly which one is mine, because my plant-based mozzarella does not melt nearly as well as the regular mozzarella, but sometimes for the sake of dietary comfort, sacrifices must be made. And I know this is dumb because all I have is sliced mozzarella for Miranda, so I'm going to be ripping it up into little pieces and placing it on that way because I forgot to buy shredded mozzarella. What can you do? All right. Next goes on the turkey pepperoni, right? We're gonna stick with the fitness theme here, regular pepperoni. It's a lot more calories, a lot more fat than turkey pepperoni, so we're gonna put this turkey pepperoni on here. It says for the serving, you get about 16 slices, which is crazy for 70 calories. So you can literally just layer this on like your life depends on it. And it might. It just might depend on it. And boom, with that we have our pepperoni on. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back in the oven for 10 minutes at 450, get all these toppings cooked on and melted on, and it'll make the crust even more crispy and bread-like. There it is. We are done. Take a look at that. So we have it. We have our pizza, chicken crust pizza here ready to try, and it's kind of funny when you think about it because the whole point of the chicken crust pizza is to overcook the chicken for so long that it literally becomes bread. It becomes dry and crispy and savory like a pizza crust. So that's why the chicken was in the oven for so long. I mean, I imagine if you just put flattened out chicken like that in the oven, you could probably cook it in like 10 minutes, but 25 minutes to start with, then another 10 minutes, 35 minutes in the oven. My mouth is literally watering. Let's give this a try. Yep. That's pizza. It's like a thin crust. Gets to be flaky. You can see literally. Nothing but chicken, egg, and seasoning. Ah, that's so good. So I'm gonna eat this, then we'll move on to the next. All right, so we're headed off to the gym today. We're gonna be doing a back workout. I've tried to stagger a little bit so it's not the same workout that you're seeing every single video that I upload. In last week's video, I did more of a chest workout. This is gonna be more of a back workout. And it's one of my favorite days. Of course, just like any good gym rat, when I was a teenager, when I first started, chest day was always one of my favorites. Everyone was like, oh, Monday, chest day, chest day, chest day. Then you do back day, and then you do arm day, and then you just skip leg day. But now I find that my two favorite days of the week are actually leg day. I look forward to it every single time. There's just something about getting into the gym and working hard that I really enjoy, and I don't think there's any harder workout out there than a really heavy, strong leg day. But today we're doing back, because leg day was just a couple days ago, and I am still feeling it. So let's go ahead and get in the gym here and hit a good workout, and maybe try something new. I think the reason that back day is one of my favorites is, like I was saying last week, I don't have much endurance when it comes to my chest, so I have a lot more endurance with my back. I can do more and still actually get a good, decent shoulder day in after that. So there's just something about shoulders and back. It just gets me excited for the day. I always like to warm up with lat pull downs and then move on to a rowing movement. And the most important thing for me to get on my back workout is some variance of a stretch, right? You want to get all the way through that eccentric motion, all the way out so you can feel your back muscles under tension, and then row back. And that right there has made a world of difference in building my back, not only strength, but muscularity, size. So normally I'm doing some variation of a wide grip row. Today I'm doing normal barbell row. I always stick light to this, just stick to 135 pounds, and just really focus on controlling the weight up and down. I've gotten way more results from controlling the weight than any heavy half rep form that I've ever done in my life. So, I mean, you guys know, I've said it on the channel so many times here in the first 4 videos. Found that when it comes to back workouts, not everything is about rowing and heavy weight. This right here, if anyone's ever seen a dumbbell pullover, really does a good job of getting a stretch on your back and then hitting those lower lats as you basically pull over your body. You kind of have to hinge at the hips a little bit to get that maximum stretch in your back, but when you do, my God, does this exercise feel good. So when I do these lateral raises, I use the wrist strap connector here, and I set the cable height at about knee height, and that allows me to get the full stretch. I'm feeling the tension in my side delt for the entire movement. Even all the way at the bottom, I'm feeling tension and resistance on it. So it's one of my favorite ways to do lateral raises. Stretch on the eccentric, especially at the bottom. Right at about there, you'll feel the tension, and then pull back up. Throw in some lighter weight dumbbell lateral raises into the cables right afterwards, because I really am, like I said, limited in my pressing movements because of that previous shoulder injury years ago. So I double up on the lateral raises, and I try to stay light on these because I do, again, don't get old, folks. I got a pinched nerve in my neck that runs through my trap and into my back, and many a times I've tried to go heavier on the lateral raises, and there's a pinch in the middle of the set, and then for 2 or 3 days afterwards, I can't even turn my neck to the left or the right because there's a sharp shooting pain that runs all the way down my trap into my back. So try to stay light on these, and if you control the weight, you can make 20 pounds feel like 40 pounds though. I finished off this workout with 3 sets of very light shoulder press on the machine. I'm still working back up in weight for shoulder pressing after having aggravated my old shoulder injury, attempting to bench press after years of avoiding it. Needless to say, I'm avoiding bench press again, and I've been avoiding shoulder pressing movements so it can recover. It's finally pain-free, so I'm starting light on shoulder pressing again and working my way up. It's ingrained in our brains pretty much from young childhood that one of the best dishes to get when you're at any restaurant or to have as comfort food is the chicken tender and French fry meal. I mean, I remember as a kid getting so many chicken tenders and French fries and eating them that I probably was about to turn into a chicken tender. So I thought, I wonder if there's any good chicken tenders and French fry recipes out there that we can make in the air fryer that are lower calorie and healthier, and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Today we're making French fries for about the calories of this, because it's healthier, more satiating, and you can have way fucking more for less calories. First, get your spud, acquire a sharp object. And we're just gonna cut these into fries. We're gonna get a bucket of ice water. We're gonna let these guys soak for about 15 to 20 minutes. 30 minutes later, because you forgot about it, they're done. We're gonna put down a towel. The mission is to get them as dry as possible. Hit it with just a little avocado oil and a little bit of cornstarch. Then outside of that, it's completely up to you. Salt, some pepper. I'd usually just go garlic powder or paprika, but slap your mama. First, we're gonna air fry at 360 for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna bump it up to 400 for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what you like. Fries are done. My ranch is expired. Guess we're doing 0 sugar ketchup. Sorry, no sugar added. But let's give it a shot. Oh my God, it's so hot. This is amazing. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think.
Trevor Thomas, 2T Fitness. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So let's do it. He didn't peel his potato, and I kind of like skin on potatoes on French fries. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and cut up this potato. So that I can turn them into French fries. And again, like you said, you gotta let them soak because you gotta get the starch out of the potato. Without getting the starch out, the French fries just don't turn out crispy like they should. So. We are gonna take all these potatoes and we are gonna put them in an ice bath. Again, like I said, get all the starch out of them. Get them all in there and soaking. And while that's soaking for 15 to 20, 30 minutes, depending on how long it takes, I'm gonna move on to starting to prep the chicken tenders.
Really about to tell me that dieting is hard when you can eat stuff like this? Bang Bang chicken fingers that pack 350 calories and over 50 grams of protein. Paired with this sauce, the Bang Bang creamy sauce. These things are absolute flavor bombs. You have to try this one. They are insane. Listen for the crunch. In my opinion, chicken tenderloins are far more superior than chicken breasts because the macros are absolutely insane, but I don't know, you let me know down below. Season those bad boys heavily with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder, and then begin dipping into your flour, egg, and cornflakes until they are fully covered. Into the air fryer they go with some light cooking spray and air fry at 400 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. And to make that delicious sauce, just blend together Greek yogurt, light mayo, sweet chili sauce, sriracha, honey, and some salt to taste. Absolutely delicious. Now all you have left to do is to dress your crispy tenders with that sweet chili sauce, and you are ready to enjoy some delicious, high protein, low calorie Bang Bang chicken tenders. Wow, no way. That is perfection.
We're gonna be trying to do that just a little bit modified. I'm gonna do more of like a barbecue chicken tender than a Bang Bang chicken tender, just because that sauce that he was using is Greek yogurt based. And again, lactose intolerant, can't do Greek yogurt, unfortunately. And there's no grocery store within 100 miles of me that sells lactose-free Greek yogurt. I've seen it before, nobody sells it, so maybe one day. All right, so you heard the man. We're gonna need corn flakes that we're gonna need to mash up in order to get a nice breadcrumb consistency. I use the exact serving, about 1.5 cups of corn flakes. So basically what that means is we are going to get about 150 calories out of the breading we're putting on these chicken tenderloins. So cornflakes, I should say, because we're also going to be putting them in a little flour and egg wash mixture just to get that perfect breading consistency. I'm mashing it up. I think it's about time to add all right, so I turned the light on in here because it was getting a little dark and I wanted you guys to see this in the best light possible. We got an egg, which is gonna be going to an egg wash. All of these are going to be getting an egg wash that they are going to then be dipped into in order to create that beautiful crispy crust that you saw in that Instagram reel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a fork and beat up this egg. I'm gonna beat it up like it owes me money. So now, we end up getting egg wash into the flour, get a nice little coating of flour, and then into the breadcrumbs. I'm doing this backwards. Flour. I promise I'm smart and can follow directions. Flour, then egg wash. Because how else are the daggone cornflakes gonna stick? There we go. Now we've got evenly breaded, evenly coated chicken tenderloins, chicken breast tenderloins. Okay, so we got our air fryer basket here and we are just going to transfer in each of these. Just don't ask me why I keep washing my hands when I'm just gonna touch the chicken again. It's like, I don't know why I do the things I do. Okay, so we have all of them going in. Hopefully we have enough room for all of them. This is a little skinny one. We'll throw it in there. Okay, so we have all of them in the basket. Perfect. Now I can wash my hands. So now we should actually have all of our French fries soaked in ice water. They should be de-starched. And this is where we're gonna have to dry them off and get them as dry as absolutely possible, because in order to get them crispy, it has to draw all that moisture out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna salt these as soon as we dry them off. We're not gonna wait to salt them until we have the oil on it or anything like that. It's right here. Put some salt on it. That salt's gonna draw some of that moisture out of the center of the potato and gonna help them crisp up for us. We're gonna go ahead and transfer these into here. Hit them with a little bit of that olive oil, cooking spray. And he also said a little bit of cornstarch. Put some of that in there. So now comes for the rest of the seasonings. Of course, I like to season things up pretty well, so we're gonna go ahead and go with some pepper on here. And the good thing about seasoning, like I said in the last video, is that most seasoning doesn't have calories, so you don't have to worry about how many calories of seasoning you're putting in. We're gonna make these more Cajun or Creole style, I should say. Gonna make it more Creole style. I inhaled the Creole seasoning. Okay, some Creole seasoning in there. A little bit of garlic powder, just because I love garlic powder. We'll give those a nice mix. I'm gonna get the other basket and transfer the fries into that basket. Boom. So we got our French fries and we have our chicken tenders ready to go in to the air fryer. I just need to spritz the chicken tenders with a little bit of oil themselves. So we're gonna put these in the air fryer, each for their respective times, which will be listed on the screen right now. And then we will go ahead and check back in whenever it's time to pull these bad boys out. I really do think it's important to have these recipes as a part of your skill set, because people have very frequent cravings for some of these really high calorie, high fat, high carb foods. And if you can find a replacement, something that you can eat that really replaces that within your diet, then it'll help you reach your goals that much quicker. It's not really a matter of not having any of these foods, because of course if you go out with your friends or you're hanging out with family, to allow yourself to have a regular pizza or regular chicken tenders and fries, to have fun and enjoy life, because life is short, that is fine, everything in moderation. But if you're someone who really struggles to stick to a diet when you're forced to eat things like baked or grilled chicken and rice and broccoli and things like that, this really will help. There's a lot of recipes out there that you have access to through the internet, right at the tip of your fingers. So this is a really cool revelation in the age of fitness. All right, we have them. Our healthier air-fried chicken tenders and French fries. I got some no sugar added barbecue sauce that I'm gonna be dipping my chicken tender in here. We're about to see how these turned out. Dip it in there, see if there's any crunch to this. Those are phenomenal. Just chicken tenderloins coated in flour, egg wash, and cornflakes, air fried. As you can see, the inside of that chicken is very well cooked. Literally, that checks all the boxes for the chicken tender. You know, you don't get that really oily, greasy effect from it, but you get the chicken, you get the breading, you get the crunch. But let's try the French fries. So far, not so good. They're very spongy and this could just be user error, but these are, I hate to say it, I will and would eat them because it doesn't take much to satisfy me, but they're just not crunchy. So maybe it needed a lot more time in the air fryer. What I probably did wrong is I probably didn't get them as dry as they should have been. ADHD, impatient, a good cook does not make. I didn't want to try and make them even more dry. I sat there patting them down for like 5 minutes and I'm like, these are good enough, right? So, but if you're more patient than I am, you might want to try those at home, see how they turn out, and it might be better. So there's only one more recipe that we have left to go, and it is dessert. All right, so there's one last thing to make here, and that is dessert. And this is, I don't have a specific reel to show you from this. This is kind of an evolution. I saw someone a couple months ago make something similar to this, and I've kind of just kept adapting it and adding to it to make it better. I've made it many times over the past couple months. Whenever I get like a sweet tooth or I have some sort of craving for something sweet or dessert-like, which doesn't happen very often, this is what I make. So you need a sugar-free vanilla pudding packet for this. You can also do chocolate. You can really do any specific flavor that you want. It doesn't matter. The good thing about this is this is 4 servings per box. It's only 20 calories per serving. So this whole box of vanilla is literally only 80 calories. Then we get ourselves a Core Power Elite. I love the Core Power Elite for this because the Core Power Elite has 42 grams of protein. And I will say it is very difficult to eat all of this. You're gonna eat it in probably 2 sittings, or you're gonna share it with someone. So even if you eat half of it, you still get 21 grams of protein in this dessert. So pretty neat. So we're gonna go ahead and add this in here as soon as I can open it up. I'm using the strawberry. You can also use chocolate, vanilla, whatever flavor you want to make as many different combinations as you want. Today we're going with a chocolate-covered strawberry protein pudding. So we're gonna go ahead and add in that. And I always try to ignore the instructions as you saw from the earlier recipe. I'm just kidding. The recipe for the sugar-free pudding calls for 16 ounces of 2 cups. So 2 cups of cold milk. This is a little less than 2 cups, but it works out in the end, which is why I added in another ingredient to make it a little bit less fluffy. So once we have the strawberry in there, strawberry protein pudding, once we have the strawberry Core Power shake in there with the vanilla pudding, sugar-free pudding mix in there, now is when we are going to add in a little of the secret ingredient that helps make it less fluffy, and that is, I know it's weird, it's gonna sound weird to put maple syrup in this with the strawberry, but you hardly taste the maple syrup. So this is sugar-free, only 10 calories a serving. We're gonna put a little dollop of sugar-free maple syrup in there. And now is when we are going to use a whisk or any other mixer that you have, and we are going to mix all of that up. The goal is to blend this and whisk it, or even if you don't have a hand mixer, you can even stir it really fast, but I like to use this because I love the consistency that it gives you. For about 2 minutes until it starts to get fluffy. Okay, we're gonna stop there. Gonna take this attachment off. Now we are going to drop in our chocolate chips. We got the Lily's dark chocolate chips because less calories. Each serving is only about 50 calories of chocolate chips here. So because this is gonna be split between 2, I usually do 2 servings of chocolate chips, but you also gotta live a little. You're eating dessert. Throw some chocolate chips in there. And then we're gonna put our fresh cut strawberries in there. So now that we have that in there, we are going to stir in our chocolate chips and our strawberries to get those into the protein pudding. And then we're gonna top it off with some sugar-free chocolate syrup, which is going to go perfectly with our chocolate chips and our strawberries. So we are gonna just drizzle this on top. It's only 10 calories per serving of this chocolate syrup, so my God, go crazy if you want to. And hope that it's good. Oh my God. That's probably the best thing of the day. And you know what's crazy? I've never made this chocolate covered strawberry one before. Make this, hands down. This is amazing. All it is, fresh cut strawberries, chocolate chip, vanilla, sugar-free Jello pudding packet, excuse me. And then, it is Jello pudding, but, and then the chocolate syrup on top. Holy crap, that tastes just like a chocolate covered strawberry. That's amazing. So in total with that one, depending on what flavor you do, of course, you're looking at, you know, anywhere from 300 to 500 calories depending on the flavor. You eat half the bowl, share it with your partner. I mean, chocolate covered strawberries, that's a nice romantic dessert. There you go. This right here is just, best flavor of this I've ever made. Do it and do it now. That's a perfect example of that, because that protein pudding, I made that so many times over the past couple months, and that was one of the best flavors that I've ever made, and I just came up with it off the top of my head as I was getting ready to film the segment, seeing what flavors of Core Power I had in the fridge and what flavors of sugar-free protein I had. And I saw the strawberry Core Power, saw the vanilla pudding mix, and immediately I thought, you know what? This would be a really good opportunity to make chocolate-covered strawberry. And just like that, it's a brand new dessert that I've never had before. And man, was it worth it. That was the best I've ever made, so. But remember, it's all moderation, it's all a journey. It's not about the destination, it's about what you do throughout your life to stay healthy, to stay happy. Whatever you have to do to balance those two is what's most important. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and leave me a comment down below on what you thought of the recipes or if you tried any of these for yourself. And I'll see you next time here on the Fearless and Fit YouTube channel. Bye.